What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this video we are returning to Cosmic Era 71 at the end of the first Alliance Plant War. Last time, we saw Kisato, Lo, and George Glenn use a variant of the Genesis to boost themselves into deep space as they head towards Mars. Our new protagonist, Jess Rabble, meets with Edward Harrelson, aka Ed the Ripper, as he follows him around on the battlefield. In this episode, Ed the Ripper goes up against his former teammates, Jane the White Whale and Moonlight Mad Dog Morgan. We are also introduced to a new member of the Jump Guild, Yoon Saffron, as we learn about her clumsy origin story. There isn't many mentions of it, but while this is happening in South America, there is some infighting happening at Orb. This infighting is happening between the 5 royal families, specifically Unata, Imo, Seirin, Rondo Minasahaku, and Kigali. So let's get into this. We start our journey with a flashback to June 16th, CE71, during the Battle of Orb. Morgenrot's chief engineer, Etika Simmons, is prepping the Kusanagi. Lord Uzumi is about to blow up the nation, and all remaining Orb members are to board the Kusanagi. Etika begins yelling at one girl to stop messing around. This is Yoon Saffron. She is a green engineer for Orb and is quite clumsy. Etika tells her to take the remaining AIs to the Kusanagi. These are suitcase-sized AIs just like 8. She starts prepping the AI units, but of course, she is clumsy and gets tangled in a bunch of cords. The AI try to help her out, but it is too late. Uzumi blows up Orb. The Kusanagi has already left. She was underground and comes up to the surface to realize that she has been left behind. As she is crying, some members of the Jump Guild approach her and let her know that they are all here to clean up on request of the Earth Alliance. Since she has been abandoned by a nation that was blown up and no longer exists, she decides to join the guild. We cut back to South America in December of CE71. Ed is wondering what is going on with Jess's Astray. It seems that 8 brought the Jump Guild to help fix up the mobile suit. Jess doesn't want any artillery added. He goes to the cockpit to find Yoon installing a bathtub inside. This was at the request of 8. Is 8 suggesting that Jess smells? Can this AI unit smell? I have so many questions. She gives Jess instructions on how to use the tub and then takes off in her mobile suit. Jess and Ed realize how dopey she comes off and are concerned for her. But 8 tells them that she is the designer of the Rista. The MWF JG-71 Rista is a civilian mobile suit and is essentially composed of 40% of the Astray. This is a very cheap and very scrappy unit by design. It focuses on repairability over anything else. It usually doesn't use weapons, but can if needed. It has the ability to attach backpack units, but nothing on the level of striker or silhouette packs. Jess will also pilot this in the future and will have his gun camera attached. Jess goes out to test the bathtub, but the air siren goes off. Ed decides to head out for the battle, and Jess tags along, having to wait to take his bath. They head out towards the coast. Ed tells Jess during this time of the year, the heat from the South American continent mixes with the cold of Antarctica and causes a giant fog to roll over the continent. Apparently, this is a real phenomenon that actually happens. Look up Antarctic convergence zones and the Drake Passage. Ed recognizes this pattern of hiding in the fog and wonders if it is her. Jess covers his unit to make himself somewhat hidden, but I think what they're going for is that old-timey sheet that you put over a camera, but with a mobile suit. It looks silly and awesome at the same time. He hides and lets Ed do his thing. Suddenly, out of the mist comes Jane Houston in her forbidden blue. The GAT-X255 Forbidden Blue is a variant of the X252 Forbidden Gundam. The original Forbidden isn't designed for underwater but can use the Geschmeidig Panzer to make it happen. Forbidden Blue actually is designed for aquatic use. Its arm-mounted machine guns and Vulcans are useless underwater but can be used instantly once it resurfaces. Like the original, it also has the transphase armor and the Geschmeidig Panzer energy deflection system, but it doesn't use it to deflect, but rather it allows the unit to reach deep depths of the water without the water pressure crushing the mobile suit. It also has a scythe, a phonon maser cannon, a torpedo canister pod, and a trident. They engage in battle as Jess records from afar. Ed refers to her as the White Whale. Sword Calamity's beam sword breaks on Forbidden's shield. In the background, Jess wonders who she is, not realizing that 8 is a walking Wikipedia who instantly gives them the information on her. 8 says that they were former comrades. Jess instigates that it seems that they were more than just friends. Ed takes out her shield. We get flashbacks of the two who were former lovers. She seems to not understand that what he does for his country. Ed is about to attack, but then Jess comes in with the interview recording. Last episode, Jess asked Ed in an interview what kind of woman he likes, and he said he liked floppy titties. Jess replays the audio, and it causes Ed to stop fighting. Jane finally understands how much his nation means to Ed. She asks for forgiveness. Jess is a terrible journalist. Great guy, but terrible at being an objective observer. They head back to the base. Ed thanks Jess. He says that he simply showed him the truth. Nah brah, there was some emotional manipulation happening there. You knew that. Jane tells the two that they shouldn't get comfortable and that the Alliance will be sending more people. Meanwhile, Yoon is wandering around South America and getting lost. She stumbles onto a graveyard of daggerels. A man jumps onto her shoulder and tells her to escape immediately. She doesn't know where to escape to, and the man says it is too late. In front of them is Zaft's new experimental Zaku. In Gundam Seed Destiny, we discussed the Zaku Warrior in the new Millennium series of Zaft mobile suits. The ZGMF X999A Zaku mass production trial type is an attempt by Zaft at making a mass-produced version of justice and freedom. Remember, those suits were originally made by Zaft, until Lacus and Atherin came in and stole them. This Zaku is nuclear powered and has in-jammer cancellers, as well as phase shift armor. However, once this thing was ready to go into mass production, the Junius Treaty prevented nuclear power from military use, which is why the Zaku Warrior will be battery powered. Surprisingly, it has no beam weapons and is equipped with a railgun, blade tomahawk, and a shield. Yoon doesn't know what to do. The man switches places with Yoon and pilots the unit. He seems to be comfortable with the Astray OS, which is what the Reista uses. He charges the Zaku. He says his name is Barry Ho, a former pilot of Orb's Kusanagi division, the ship that abandoned Yoon. Barry kicks the Zaku, does a flip over the mobile suit, and then bails. There is no way that they could take a unit on like that. Back at the South American base, Jane informs Ed of a continental missile barrage. Ed plans on using the Gundam Raider full spec to head out into space and get the upper hand before they begin the barrage. Jess is sad that his mobile suit can't go into space. Ed goes to prep while Jess gets a message on the radio. He and Jane heads to Zaft's South American Demilitarized Zone number 3. He goes to meet with Bernadette, who is a Zaft reporter. She actually came to talk to Jane, the white whale. Jess comments that she is here to push her own propaganda. Bernadette tells them that this unit ran into a series of daggers that attacked them. He then proceeds to take them out. Now, why is this important? Because they should be currently in a ceasefire with the USSA, so it seems that it was EA that made the first move. Jane was supposed to be undercover, and her higher-ups told her that they wouldn't send any units until she reports back. She introduces the two to Courtney Hieronymus, the test pilot of the new Test Zaku. Bernadette says because of the actions of EA, they won't be getting involved with the USSA revolution. Jess starts to wonder why would the EA send in troops if they ultimately planned on doing a bombing run. It suddenly hits Jess. This is all a trap. Jane was given false information and most likely planned on her defecting. Ed is going to be in trouble. In space, Ed takes out a shuttle dropping bombs. He runs into Moonlight Mad Dog Morgan. Mad Dog tells him to send his regards to Jane. Ed realizes that this is all a ruse to get him to come out into space. Morgan tells him that he can't tolerate treasonous soldiers. Ed says that he is no longer a soldier. He is the hero of South America. The two engage in battle. Morgan uses his dagger with the gun barrel pack. Ed dodges all the gun barrel attacks, but he is being pushed closer to re-entering Earth's atmosphere. He sends out another round of gun barrel attacks. This time, it causes Ed to start getting pulled into Earth's atmosphere. Ed heard about stories of Kida entering Earth with his phase shift armor. Ed has trans-phase armor and wonders if it is possible. He says it doesn't matter though because he is a mere natural. Suddenly, a piece of debris comes in and almost hits him. He then remembers a news article of the Junk Guild entering Earth's atmosphere and riding behind a piece of debris. Of course, we saw this during Gundam Seed Astray. Ed tries to do the same. He gets behind it and is successful at entering Earth's atmosphere. Ed looks quite haggard as he just endured serious amounts of G-forces. He says he is going to need a cold one after that. Mattias and Madigan are staring at a world map and doing the generic cliche of moving pieces on a board. He mentions that the Queen is about to make her appearance. Of course, this is Sakura Burst. Moonlight Mad Dog has failed and the White Whale has defected. She is the last remaining member of her team. Like Ed, she also pilots the Sword Calamity. She prepares her mobile suit. And that will do it for this episode. As the Junius Treaty is in progress, we see a lot of people crossing the lines of what can and can't be done, mainly the Earth Alliance though. Yoon is a nice source of levity in this, and having a bathtub and a mobile suit is such a power move. I felt that Jane's turn to Ed's side was rushed. She could have added a little bit more tension before ultimately defecting. Also, this is a situation where a conversation could have solved all this, but that's fine, whatever. Also, Zeonic Scantillations has the first chapter of the novelization of Gundam Gundam Seed Freedom translated. Let me know if you think I should cover this or just wait until the movie comes out. In our next episode, the two sword calamities engage in battle. Lord Gibral will also make his appearance. We will also see the conclusion to the South American War for Independence. But until next time, coordinators, if you decide to defect to protect your nation, maybe tell the person you are sleeping with and not leave her in the dark. Peace.